there everybody, this is Drunk Goomba 1645 and welcome back to more Let's Play The Last Remnant. Today, as the title suggests, or should suggest, we're going to be taking on 2.5 side quests. Why? Because the first 2 side quests are going to be pretty short. By short, I mean you're going to be re-exploring a couple of locations you've been to already in previous side quests. So basically, the first side quest we're going to be taking on today, we're going to be heading back into the Great Subterran. And the side quest is the War of 1,000 Years. So, in order to complete this side quest, you have to defeat yet another monster that has spawned at the same point as the other monster did back in the previous side quest. That is if you're using this as a guide, but if you skipped ahead, this is where you find this monster. However, I think you do have to complete the side quest that occurred at the end of the last video in order to get this one to appear. So yeah, you gotta get that side quest done before taking on this one. Well, you can take on either or, and then or no, I'm just crazy. The last one comes first, and then this one. So the monster we are facing is the Absolute Queen. This thing is not too bad to take down whatsoever, and it's not very annoying. It's just like any other enemy, except it has more HP than, you know, the typical bad guys and stuff like that. Very easy. Just pound it to the freaking ground. That's all you really have to do. I think there's one attack or something that is pretty dangerous, and it involves shooting lasers, and it attacks multiple unions, so watch out for that. And try not to keep your unions bunched up together, but again, that's not exactly something that can be controlled. But still, just thought I'd mention it anyway. Also, you may have noticed that there are numbers that are being displayed instead of button prompts. Well, it looks like I'm playing on a keyboard and using my mouse, but in all actuality, I'm not. I recently got myself a brand new PlayStation 3 wired controller. I think it's a Rock Candy controller, so in other words, it's a third-party wired PlayStation 3 controller. The reason I got it was just to have a second wired controller, because Rage kind of made me break my wireless controller. So let's... That was stupid of me, but hey. We all learn from our mistakes and we move on. And we replace what we can possibly replace. So, let's get on with it. Don't underestimate your foe. I had to adjust some settings within the game itself. And after I swapped well, actually no, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But I guess I'll get back to that in a second because side quest is complete. See? Not hard at all. And we got a class change to healer and everything's good. Happy. Alright, let's get back to the discussion now, shall we? When I first got the wired PlayStation 3 controller plugged into my computer, I tried running the DS3 tool, and well, it didn't work because I've read online that the DS3 tool only works on the original DualShock PlayStation 3 controller, not any third-party / clone controllers. So, yeah, that kind of sucked for me, and I was just like trying to figure out how am I supposed to fix this. Well, after a little bit of experimentation, I learned that, oh, I can actually switch this to gamepad. And, what do you know? I swapped the controller type to gamepad, and the PS3 controller actually worked. Best of all, I was able to readjust the shadow settings up to its highest quality, and the game ran just fine. However, there are quite a bit of slowdowns and occasional stopping every now and again. So, it happens kind of frequently for some reason. Might be the game, or it could be my computer. But nonetheless, after a little bit of time, I did eventually turn off the shadow settings and brought it back down to, you know, none and low quality. But again, that's just shadows, and shadows are not that important. Okay, next side quest. We are heading back into the Irvorny Peaks, or Irvorny Peaks. I think it's Irvorny. Nonetheless, we have to encounter these two people here. The reason why we are heading here is because Violet and Gabreal pretty much left Centapleh without notifying Violet's husband. So it's our job to go here and bring Violet back home to Centapleh. And, well, Violet's pretty pissed because, well, simply put, her family's legacy has pretty much been taken over when the government of Centapleh actually took over her country like several years ago when she was a little girl. But still, I guess that's just something she has to deal with day by day. Once you encounter Violet and Violet and Gabreal, they'll actually become a guest union, and you'll be entered into this fight as you're seeing here. The fight is against a couple of regular enemies, and it's simply not a bad fight whatsoever. It's just pretty simple, just smash, kill, destroy, etc, etc. Just nail them with everything you got, and that's how you win. See, simple as that. So I guess I'll go ahead and go over Violet's family, which is the name of her union. Violet's family is one of those unions that you do have to babysit. And if she gets killed, well, you really shouldn't worry about her. It's like, don't even bother trying to revive her. Seriously, it's just a waste. Concentrate on keeping your own unions alive first. That should be your highest priority over anything else. Because Violet's family, they'll easily just simply die. I mean, they don't die instantaneously, but they do have a bit of a tendency to get themselves killed rather easily. Excuse me. Dang saliva. Now that all the enemies have been, bleh. They've all been exterminated. They've all been killed. Everyone is dead. And we all live happily ever after. The end. So, let's head on back after a little conversation with Violet and Gabreal. Later on, we will actually be able to recruit both of them, but that's not until after another side quest occurs, which you will have to re-encounter Violet and Gabreal again, but that's not until video 20, which is going to be a little bit of time away. Also, one thing I'm going to point out right now, this is actually going to be like the last week I'm going to be updating this game, because this game is once again going to be going on hiatus to make room for my next Let's Play. Well, actually, it's more or less bleh. It's more or less a continuation of a Let's Play I've done a few months ago, and that Let's Play is Sonic Unleashed. What I'm going to be doing for that is I'm going to actually be taking on the extras for the game. From becoming an exorcist and taking on the infamous hot dog missions, which are going to be really, really annoying and a ton of fun for both me and you. Okay, I'm being sarcastic. Anyways, the reason why we are here in Athlum Square is because Bolson actually had a new conversation I just wanted to check just to be sure before we went anywhere, and what do you know, he actually had something new to say. Like I said, back in I think video 2 or 1 or something like that, I don't remember which one it is, but if you talk to certain union leaders long enough and actually build a bond with them, their stats become increased substantially and actually provide a much larger aid in battle. Okay, so the next side quest we are taking on is this one. It's called Bravery and Loyalty, and also the side quest is being split in half. The reason is because well, if I would have combined all 3 of these side quests into one video, then it would have been over 40 freaking minutes, I think. But nonetheless, we are here and we only got a few more minutes left. And the video is like 21 minutes and 16 seconds long. Well, maybe 21:18, depending on how YouTube decides to, you know, work its videos, because it seems to have a tendency to add 2 extra seconds, and then at the very end it just jumps 2 seconds. Again, that's just how YouTube works. I was also originally planning to end this video like at the very beginning of this side quest, but then this side quest would have taken a little bit too long, again, because well, this video would have only been about 8 minutes, and that is just a little too short. And if the entire side quest is like over 30 minutes long, hence the reason why I'm splitting it in half. And I know I'm repeating myself and I should be quiet about that, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. So, first enemy we are taking on today is this thing. It looks like a floating, mutated butterfly / caterpillar thing. I have no idea what it is, and I truthfully do not care. I think it's called a Loofah? I think that's how you say it, Loofah. Loofah is a rare monster, and if you are pretty much like me and just fighting every single enemy on the map, or almost every single enemy on the map, and are leveling up quite a bit, like me, and raising your battle rank, then this monster can be quite dangerous and will drain your morale down to almost minuscule. Well, it does. It drains it to minuscule, but it doesn't drain it completely. As you deal damage to it and critical hits and stuff like that, you'll be able to raise your morale, and that'll definitely help. So let's go on with the controls a little bit here. As you can see, there are 4 button commands and also 1 more for the right trigger if you were using an Xbox 360 controller and are now transitioning to keyboard and mouse controls. Well, in a sense. The main button commands are 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is on the left, 2 is on the bottom, 3 is on the right, and 4 is on the left. I mean, up. So if you're using a gamepad, 1 is the left button, 2 is the bottom, 3 is the right, 4 is the up, and the final button command is 8. That 8 button is, if you're using a PS3 controller and using the gamepad option, that is your right trigger. And it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. But hey, better late than never. Those are basically all the buttons that you use for the critical trigger command things anyway, so it's pretty easy to remember once you get used to it. So all in all, what do I think about this monster? It can be pretty challenging to defeat because it deals quite a bit of damage, and it can also deal acid burn. I'm not 100% sure what acid burn does. To me, it just feels like it does nothing. But really, acid burn does do something, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I'm thinking that acid burn, what it does is that it prevents your unit from dealing extra damage. So in other words, if you deal like 200 for your attack and then you deal like an additional 50 and then an additional 20 within that same strike, then you know, you can't deal that extra damage. And now we're going to be ending this with style by doing that backwards. Oh yeah, I love that. Sometimes the game would glitch up and face your character in the wrong direction, or just, you know, jump from one end of the room to the other with a single strike. Backwards. It has happened to me quite a bit. especially if you're playing on a lower end computer and you're not exactly meeting the system requirements for the game. So, next enemy we are taking on is these bile lizards. We pretty much took these guys on at the end of the last side quest, and the reason why I'm showing this battle is because I want to. And also, this is pretty much a new arena, but not really a new arena, but still, just thought I'd show them here, and yeah. That's the end. Very easy. And the story. They get nothing, we win. Good day, sir.
Let's do this.
Also, another thing worth pointing, when you first interacted with the Athenian soldier back at the very beginning of the room, well, not in the room we just came from, but the room before and after we came up the ladder, there are two paths you can take. There's the one on the left, which will actually take you around in a huge circle, which is the way we are going, and there's also the path on the right, which pretty much takes you forward. You may be thinking, why didn't I take the right path? Well, because the left path actually has some additional enemies and some treasures. And not only that, but it also has the map. It's the second map of this dungeon. So that is always useful, especially if you want to come back and re-explore this place. I don't see why or how you would want to re-explore, but still, I'm just saying, it's available for you. But still, just keep your guard up and just pound everything to the ground as much as you possibly can. So, what can I talk about now for like the next 5 minutes?
Stand firm.
I think it's a little less than 4. It's something like that.
Steady there.
So recently, as in yesterday, meaning the day the day I'm recording this, the day prior. Blech. I got a new game. It is Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I haven't started playing it yet, but I'm probably going to be doing so once I finish recording this video and the next 2 videos. And speaking of videos, once this Let's Play goes back on hiatus, and once I finish Sonic Unleashed, this Let's Play will once again resume for another month. And then it'll go on hiatus again.
I know I'm good.
The reason I'm doing it this way is just to keep things fresh. This game I know is incredibly long, and I've mentioned this a couple of times over, but I just thought I'd re-mention it again just in case people have missed that update video that I posted a few months ago. But anyways, yeah, keeping things fresh and just making sure that people stay interested with me, which I don't see why you wouldn't be, but still, not everyone is interested in unknown JRPGs such as this. I'm just saying. Sometimes it's a good idea to keep things fresh and just
let's do this.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I really don't. At this point, I think we fought all the enemies throughout the entire dungeon. I think there's one more kind of enemy that we've yet to fight, but that's not going to be until the next video. Let's see, what can I talk about now?
Come on out.
So, I guess I'll go ahead and go over the second floor of the Robellia Castle Ruins. What do I think about the second floor? Truthfully, I don't know, and I truthfully don't care. I don't really care too much for this dungeon. Like, it's okay. It's not bad, actually. It's not that bad of a dungeon, but still, I feel like it could have been a little bit more infested with enemies. And even on hard mode, it's kind of underwhelming. Until you get to the end of the dungeon, then it just becomes plain annoying. You shall soon see what I mean. But that's not until the end of the next video. Also, for our troubles, we get a fortune bracelet, defeating all the enemies around this huge circle, and also this door. Just unlatch it, and just move that giant board away, open it up, and there you go. You can move forward now. And I am basically out of time. Also, this door on the left takes you right back where you started. I'm done. This is Drunk Goomba 1645. Let's play The Last Remnant. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, and next time, the second half of this side quest.